In the meantime, the ANC's NEC meeting kicks off today in Boksburg. The four-day meeting has a range of issues on the agenda, including its strained relationship with alliance partner, the SACP, which recently snubbed the party's 100 days of GNU celebrations. Newzroom Afrika's Juniour Khumalo is tracking that story. He joins us live with a preview of what's to come. Juniour, good afternoon to you. Of course, there's a lot more on the agenda. Besides the strained relationship with the SACP, there's also the very strained relationship and the back and forth on platforms like X with GNU member, the Democratic Alliance.
Indeed, Michelle, we do expect a number of issues to be discussed by the ANC's highest decision-making body in between conferences. It's NEC today. Part of those, as you've already mentioned, is that strained relationship between itself and its alliance partner, the SACP. There's a lot of ANC leaders who have been very critical of the SACP, General Secretary Solly Mapaila, and the utterances that he has been making around the GNU. The SACP feels snubbed by the ANC as they believe that they were not consulted before the ANC decided to go into coalition partnership with the Democratic Alliance, the Freedom Front Plus, and the other 8 political parties that make up that GNU. But more importantly, I think this ANC meeting is one of those where the Integrity Committee of the ANC is finally going to announce itself when it comes to those outstanding matters, the issues including Phala, the issues including digital vibes. We know that those are issues that have been ventilated by the Integrity Commission. The president of the ANC, after that scandal broke, presented himself before the Integrity Commission. But it has taken years before that report can be tabled in front of the NEC. And that is part of the challenge when it comes to the Integrity Commission, because a lot of people believe that the NEC still has to ventilate itself and speak about those issues. And then only after that, those matters will be made public. So right now, another issue that is going to be discussed is basically the terms and references of the Integrity Committee, so that if it decides on an issue, then that will be final. It does not need to present such reports before the NEC, Michelle.
And of course, aside from that, you talk about the Integrity Commission, and what comes up is, of course, the Justice Minister and the cloud that still hangs over the Justice Minister insofar as her involvement or her links to the VBS Mutual Bank scandal.
Indeed, she is one of those individuals from the ANC's NEC that have presented themselves before the Integrity Committee after that scandal broke, that she received a loan from a company associated with basically plundering the VBS Bank. She presented herself before the Integrity Committee, and we also expect that the outcome of that meeting is also going to be tabled before the NEC and then made public. Other individuals that have also presented themselves before the Integrity Committee of the ANC include the Deputy President of the country, Paul Mashatile. There's also Pule Mabe, the former spokesperson of the ANC, as well as NEC member Zizi Godwa as well, who have presented themselves before that Integrity Committee, and we do expect the outcomes of those engagements with the Integrity Committee that is chaired by ANC stalwart Frank Chikane to also be made public. But also beyond that, the ANC is going to receive a diagnostic report from its leadership, because we know that the ANC leaders have been to KwaZulu-Natal, they've been to Gauteng, all of the provinces that did not perform well during that national and provincial election. So that report is also going to be tabled before the NEC. There has been some suggestions that the PECs, the Provincial Executive Committees of KwaZulu-Natal as well as Gauteng, might be disbanded, but some of the individuals have rubbished this, saying that the structure that has to actually take accountability for the bad showing in the national and provincial elections is actually the NEC itself. So it does not make sense that they can shift the blame to these provinces that didn't perform well, Michelle.
Yeah. Juniour, am I to understand that President Cyril Ramaphosa will not be attending, at least not today? Is he still covering the BRICS summit in Russia?
We understand that the BRICS summit ended yesterday, so the president is in transit, making his way to South Africa. There is an expectation that he is going to join this 4-day meeting of the NEC, but it's still unclear whether he's going to be here today or not. But we do know that on Sunday, the president is going to give that keynote address at the end of this meeting. Well, it's not the end because on Monday they are going to continue, but he is expected on Sunday evening to actually speak about some of these reports that have been tabled before the NEC and some of these and the agreements and the solutions that will come out of this NEC meeting. So we do expect him to feature when it comes to the meeting on Sunday, Michelle.
And Junior, I don't imagine that these reports that will be tabled, these various issues on the agenda and the discussions that will be taking place over the next 4 days will be open to the media. I suppose we depend on the President's keynote address and the briefing that will be held at the end of these 4 days.
Indeed, we do basically are going to get updates from the ANC. Today at about 2 o'clock, we are going to get a doorstop with the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, as well as the national spokesperson Mahlengi Bengo-Mutsiri, who are going to update the media on what is going to be happening during this NEC. We also expect another briefing at about 4 o'clock from the Minister of Police, the Minister of Defense, among others, who are also going to be touching on these matters that are affecting South Africans, such as the mass shootings that we've seen happen in the Western Cape, in the Eastern Cape as well. They are also going to touch on the borders, the porousness of the borders in our countries, especially given the incident that has happened in Orlando with that 6-year-old girl who was raped by an alleged illegal immigrant here in the country. So they are also going to be touching on some of those discussions. So it's not only going to be matters that are of internal interest to the ANC, but they are also going to be talking about some of the challenges that are currently faced by the residents of South Africa, Michelle.
Juniour, Khumalo, thanks very much indeed for that update. Live to us there in Boksburg on day 1 of this 4-day NEC meeting that will be taking place in Boksburg. Juniour, you talk about the mass shootings, which no doubt we're going to let you go for now, but that will no doubt be on the agenda for the ANC's NEC meeting as well. But for the sake of our viewers, you'll see the breaking news there on the side of your screen. 3 arrests have now been made in terms of the Bishop Lavis shooting that happened overnight. We also found out just some moments ago that a 7th victim has died in hospital. So 3 arrests now made. Police say the suspects include a 17-year-old. Police also recovering a 9mm pistol, which has now been taken for ballistics testing.